The reason why I want to build a virtual human is to advance science and medicine. The medicine of the human body is that of the individual, not a generic person. It's something we want to build a doppelganger of you for, which can then be used by you and medicine and the medics around you to treat you for your conditions and nobody else's. There are actually additional benefits to this which speak to questions to do with the reliability of animal investigations and experimentation, which in general isn't reliable when applied to human beings. If you have a digital representation of yourself, it's likely to be much more accurate, and then you will have benefited the rest of the animal kingdom by not needing to experiment on them. The hardware that we need to create a virtual human relies heavily on what today we call supercomputers. These are some of the biggest and fastest computers that exist on the planet, and the reason for that is because the human body is extremely complicated in its full glory. We have to have computers that are powerful enough to run all the calculations and, from a medical perspective, to deliver results on a time frame that's relevant to clinical decisions, which might be as short as minutes to hours, for life or death resolving problems. The software we need to create for a virtual human needs to be the kind of software that runs on very large supercomputers. It has to be capable of dealing with all of the complexities that exist in the human body, and therefore is inherently multi-scale, by which I mean it includes descriptions of the molecular activities, the genomic level, what's going on with proteins, the whole of a single cell, combination of cells, tissues, virtual organs, and the joining together of all of these things. So in its full glory, this software would become extremely complicated and amount to many, many millions of lines of code. But it will ultimately be done in a componentized way. That means we have subdomains of code that represent the individual workings in the human body that interact with each other. So it's going to be built, as it were, out of bricks. The bricks are software components. How far have we got in building a virtual human? We are capable of representing a beating human heart with quite a high degree of accuracy to deal with problems that may amount to arrhythmias and fibrillation, and to be able to assist clinicians in taking decisions that might help a patient to recover from such afflictions. On the other hand, we can describe how drugs interact with proteins on a personalized level, and groups of cells interacting with one another. So we've got bits of this working now, components of the whole. When will we all have a virtual human to test ourselves on? This is a question that you could answer in a number of ways. There are already aspects of individuals that can be dealt with on computers and help to treat patients already. As we build up this structure, brick by brick, adding the complexity, we get more and more of a high fidelity representation of the human body. So I would say there are parts of this that already exist now, but if we look into the future, we could be imagining something like a Google body by analogy with a Google Earth, and every individual might wish to have one of those. So to get to that level, we're probably 20 years away.